Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday night Science of Mind discussion group. Everybody in person tonight and all those online, you are welcome. This is the Center for Spiritual Living, Granada Hills, located in the North San Fernando Valley. We are a philosophy, spirituality that honors all who are on their spiritual pathway, who practice their beliefs in faith and love. What we do at this center to open any service is our call to service is called the Lighting the Flames of Faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from that one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. As Reverend Kathy lights the first candle, it is for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. Renzen, I'm getting feedback, sorry. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the 10th candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of spirit in their lives and for the space we hold for them at this center and in our hearts. And as Reverend Kathy lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
So join me, please, as I speak in the first person for everyone here and online. I recognize this presence, which is God, which is love and enlightenment and stimulating conversation. And I am one with God, one with its love, enlightenment, and stimulating conversation. So I speak my word knowing that this evening is a perfect and complete idea in the mind of God, that God's love expresses through everyone who shares, and that I am enlightened, and I just feel so stimulated from this wonderful conversation as I learn more and embody about living the science of mind. And so how grateful I am as I give thanks for Reverend Dr. Maureen, for Reverend Nancy, for Renzen on the sound, and everyone participating. I release my word to the law. I know it is done. I know it is so. And together we say, and so it is. Good evening. I will give some quick announcements. If you're interested in getting a 2-minute tune-up with a practitioner, on Sundays we have practitioners available in the prayer room for a 2-minute tune-up. And if you want to contact a practitioner online, it's cslgh.org. On Sunday, well, first, let me backtrack. Tomorrow, Thursday, December 4th at 6:55, we have the Spiritual Unity Movement will hold its full moon celebration at the center. This month is the cold moon. And this Sunday, December 7th, we have our holiday fellowship potluck in Sparks Hall after the second service. We will also decorate the tree and prepare blessing bags for the unhoused. Please bring your favorite dish to share. Sign up in Sparks Hall. After the potluck, stay and watch the Granada Hills Christmas Parade that starts at 1:30 p.m. out on Chatsworth Street. And you can also call Danny tomorrow in the office if you want to sign up for a dish, or just bring some dish. I'm sure whatever you bring we'll enjoy. Next Wednesday, December 10th, Taizé meditation service takes place. It is a peaceful evening celebrating the winter solstice and the space it gives us for reflection and guidance. Blessing bag projects continue. Participate in this annual sharing of blessing bags to hand out to the unhoused by bringing in suggested hygiene items. Decorate a bag in Sparks Hall throughout the rest of November and for the first 2 weeks of December. We thank you for your participation in helping us bless the community. We would love for everyone to post their glowing reviews of the center on Yelp and Google so others can find us. It would also be great if you could upload your own community photos. We're hoping this will help promote the more local people to join us. Thank you in advance. And now we will start our lively discussion.
I'm very happy to do this today. Our reading is from Living the Science of Mind, and we're going to, after we read it, I'd love to have everybody to participate in discussing and giving their opinion of the reading. And if you want to do it from online, you can do it in the chat with Renza. And if it's intriguing,
Yes.
we'll have him to read it.
For the benefit of the people, will you identify the page out of the living, Science of
Page
Mind?
287
Good.
from the Living the Science of Mind by Holmes. And Jenny, you have the mic? You just start reading?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Okay, treatment deals with thought. Treatment deals with thoughts rather than with people. We must be careful never to associate a negative condition with the person who suffers from it. It does not belong to your patient nor to anyone else.
Okay, for the purposes of tonight, I know everybody seems to know everybody here, but just say your name as you read the paragraph so everybody can be assured of who you are.
That was Jennifer.
Thank you.
I'm Andrea. Perfection is already accomplished. It was and is and will remain. There is a perfect idea back of every organ, and there is a perfect actor back of all life. The more completely you realize this, the more effective will be your mental treatment, because this treatment is a continuous pronouncement about the spiritual self and its relationship to the universe or God.
My name is Steve. The treatment should be simple, unlabored, calm, but designed to convince the thought of the one who gives it. The person who gives the treatment must believe that there is one perfect body of God and that this body is made manifest through his patient.
I'm Kathy. The practitioner does not feel that we must create this perfect body. Our business is to reveal it, to announce it, to pronounce it. We know that our treatment will teach the person for whom we are working without any effort on their part other than the statement that it is for that certain person.
Thank you.
I want to talk about who's the practitioner first.
You go ahead.
In this, it talks about a practitioner from a point of view of, I guess, a licensed person. But everybody in here is a practitioner. And that's why we wanted to talk about where we are with these principles, how we are practicing it, and what it means to us as we practice it, what it does for us as we practice it. So we want to open it for any questions, statements for what this thing that we have read tonight.
Okay, I'll start.
You start.
I'll prime the pump just a little bit. How's that? First of all, I want to admire Steve for being so very California, having a puffy jacket on and shorts.
That's a typical Californian.
That would be my son. That's yeah, yes, your puffy jacket and shorts on. The very first sentence is very telling. Treatment deals with thoughts rather than with people. I had a conversation last night with somebody about why I had identified in my request for treatment through the ministry of prayer, why I identified with the person's malady. Someone I know, dear to my heart, fell and broke her kneecap. And this is not the first time that she's fallen. She lives in a place where her driveway just is potted holes, and she's renting the place. And I said, if someone came to visit you and that happened to them, they would have a right to sue the owner of the property for this the difficult journey it takes to get from your car to the front door of the house. And she said, well, I'm not going to do that because these are friends of mine. But the point wasn't about that so much as, sometimes the thought is, what can we do to remedy a situation? This friend of mine has fallen 3 times because the water comes rushing down the hill and it makes these ruts in her driveway and it goes underneath the asphalt. And so then you're walking on the asphalt that's maybe this thick and the foot falls through and you fall down and break your kneecap kind of thing. But the thing about that is not necessarily doing our spiritual mind treatment at the level of effect. We do the spiritual mind treatment to change the consciousness of the person who is experiencing the condition. So Ernest is right here. Treatment deals with thoughts rather than people. We do not look at, I'm not sitting here looking out at all these ducks with broken wings on a Sunday morning, for instance, if I happened to be at the pulpit, nor would Nancy be doing that. Because the people that we're looking at with ducks with broken wings, the problem isn't with them, it's with us as the practitioner. So the practitioner would always be seeing the client as perfect, whole, and complete. Now, that's true at the level of a spirit, but they may be experiencing the appearance of illness. They may be experiencing the appearance of a broken kneecap. They may not want to hear that, but in fact, it's true. They may not be experiencing a challenge with money coming in or too much month at the end of the money kind of thing. They may be experiencing problems in a relationship, but that's not about the relationship or the money or the health issue. It's about the consciousness that allowed for that experience to demonstrate itself in our lives. So I'm going to start out with that and take it from there.
You know what I'm going to
I know. Go for it.
When we get into, what I see is when people get into describing things, which I found myself doing, describing things. I come from a health background, a nurse. So when people tell me things, I'll be going into the medical aspect. But the consciousness that I'm experiencing when I'm doing that is into the effects. The perfection that I know is true is whatever the consciousness is focused on, that is what it's going to express. And so if I'm focusing on the potholes, and if I'm focusing on what has happened, if I'm focusing on what should be changed or fixed when I'm doing the treatment, I'm really in the effect.
Yep.
So I immediately go to the idea of seeing the person for the truth. If you know the perfection of life, and you know that you are perfect, whole, and complete, and that comes into expression as soon as your consciousness recognizes that it's a truth and claim that it's a truth. Whatever is in your way to experience that somehow shifts and changes. And so that is what we're working with. And so when this first paragraph is what he's really saying is whatever is being experienced is a result of the consciousness of the person that's doing it. So we shift to our consciousness of what we want to happen, what we desire to have experienced, rather than what we are currently standing in the middle of. So I was thinking about with your friend, instead of thinking about the fall and the thing, as a practitioner, you're going to go straight to knowing that there is perfect health and wholeness. And that is not dwelling on what has happened, what has gone wrong, what is wrong. But if you go straight to the idea of what you want, desiring the person to experience, then you shift your consciousness.
Yes. I shift my consciousness. She said you, but I know she wasn't talking to Mary Jane.
We shift our consciousness.
We shift our consciousness, okay? When we read Ernest Holmes, Living the Science Mind, most of this was written or spoken about in the 50s, and he would talk in the second person almost all the time. I find it so much more valuable. Like there's a particular sentence in here, and then I'll let somebody else talk. But there's a particular sentence where he says in the second paragraph, the more completely we realize this, the more effective will be our mental treatment, because this treatment is a conscious pronouncement about the spiritual self and its relationship to the universe or to God. So when we're talking about anything having to do with ourselves and we put it in the second person, I don't have to do anything about it because they're talking to the person sitting next to me. You. The other thing about talking in the second person is it implies that I have all the answers and you don't. So when you're talking to somebody about the science of mind, using the beautiful collective we, first person I, first person plural, we, it makes the other person feel connected to us in some way. So I just want to point that out. It's what the time frame in which most of what Ernest Holmes spoke about, it was in the 50s, and that's just the way people preached, if you will, you know. So take it from here. Who has a comment about that? Yes? No? No comments?
Oh, I know y'all have some comments. I mean, how do you feel about it? Do you believe that shift? I think she gave an excellent example of how shifting your consciousness.
Oh, do you have the, oh, no, Nancy goes first. Oh, okay.
You go first. No, you go first. No, you go first.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
Okay, well, it says here, the treatment should be simple, unlabored, calm, but designed to convince the thought of the one who gives it.
Yes.
So that would be the practitioner who's giving the treatment.
Yes.
So as being either a practitioner or licensed practitioner, you have to just like unlabored meaning
And so you're having a conversation, not to go all lofty and holier than thou on a person, but you're your own practitioner, you know. And so when you're doing a treatment for yourself, Emma Curtis Hopkins says we should say it out loud. Don't just think the treatment, but say the words out loud. And she said, and speak like you mean it. You know, it's not about, oh God, please do this. We're not supplicating.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking, as Neil Donald Walsh would say, we're having a conversation with God. Would you go, there is one power, one presence, one divine source in the universe. I am one with that source. You wouldn't talk like that to your friend.
No.
You would speak with authority and with power.
Okay.
Was that what you were going to say? Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, I just and it says here, but designed to convince the thought of the one who gives it. So basically, you.
So
Design.
are you caught on design to convince the thought of the one who gives it? Is that where you're
Kind of.
kind of?
I mean, I know how to do spiritual treatment, and I just normally I am not well. I will get better at saying them just right off the top of my head. Right now, I'm in the process of writing them first and getting my thoughts together, because I am not as well versed as Kathy. She's
Yeah.
really good, and you guys are good at just saying it right off the top of your head. And so for me, I have to, for right now, until I get better and more comfortable, I write my treatments down, and then I say them out loud to myself with conviction and feeling and calmness and everything.
So you're on the practitioner path. So once you get into first year practitioner training, you're going to have more opportunity to be able to do a treatment out loud spontaneously in front of the group. When Reverend Nancy and I were first in the Science of Mind 100 and 200, we were not taught to do spiritual mind treatment. It wasn't until we got to the practitioner training part that we do it. Now they begin it right away in first year. And it
Okay.
could be as simple as just a declaration of truth for yourself. I am whole,
Okay.
perfect, and complete. What a wonderful declaration that is. But Ernest Holmes will tell you in the practitioner training manual that the treatment begins and ends in the mind of the practitioner. So that's basically what that sentence means.
Okay.
That the one doing the treatment is the one that needs, technically is convinced of the outcome.
Is perfect.
Yes, is perfect.
And it is already
Yes,
perfect and complete.
yes. Before you've even said the treatment. I
Yes.
often will say to students in third year, I had an answering machine when I was in practitioner training at home. And I would get 2 requests for spiritual mind treatment on the answering machine at home. Somebody calling saying, please do a treatment for blah, 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 whatever it was. And I would call those people back and they would say, well, it already got taken care of. You know, because just the simple fact of
Of saying it
asking
out
for
loud.
And having the faith that
Yes.
it's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
They've already made their, I want, I want healing or whatever it was the person said on the phone. It had already taken place by that time. No
Oh,
time or
awesome.
space in the mind of God, right? Yes.
Is
Okay,
anybody else?
who's next?
I was going to say that Kathy said the last paragraph the way you were saying. You know, she used we and our.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
we
was nice.
try to do that as much as possible in the readings
Yay,
on
Kathy.
Wednesday night. Yeah.
Does anybody else have anything? Yeah. You
Oh,
got something else?
yeah. So I've been listening to this on YouTube. Mayim, I can't remember, you know, who played in The Big Bang Theory, Mayim. She's Mayim
Mayim Bialik.
Bialik, right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've heard some really interesting interviews with her. She has a podcast, and this was with Michael Singer. And
Oh, the Michael Singer.
the Michael Singer, and he would say, well, how many thoughts do you think that are going on right now to her? Just how many experiences? And she said, infinite. I mean, there's so much going on around us. And what his thing was, just let go of what you're holding on to. And I don't know what that has to do with the first thing I said, but just let go. And when we're able to let things go, like our emotions, holding on to being angry with somebody, holding on to being angry with ourselves, holding on to not being able to forgive somebody. His advice in much more detail and much more articulately is just let it go. And then when you let it go, then God really speaks through you. When you can let go of the crap.
Yes, yes. That's a very spiritual word, crap, yes.
I was struck by the very first line. Treatment deals with thoughts rather than with people. And right away, I just felt pulled up. Like, oh, that's the answer. You just, there's the truth of spirit, and I just leave the conditions, the effect, as you said, and just know what this is, and claim it, and believe it. And I remember in prac training, the belief was very important. Believe in it. You have to believe in it. But I thought, there's no effort here. Mm-hmm. If I just go straight to spirit and what's so in how do I want to describe it? Well, the perfection. The perfection of the universe, and just leave this plane and the effect and go to there and just know it. And then it says here you have to say the person, because it is directed toward that person, that it is for that certain person. But that's all. The rest of it is just knowing this perfection to that condition. And I don't know, I just feel like it's so simple in a way, but I know it's not always simple for me when I look at it in different times, but that really hit me. It was like, oh yeah, okay. I don't have to associate with the effect or the person. And I know when I get treatments here a lot, and when I've seen any one of you for assistance, that's the way it usually goes. And then this elevated language begins to go on with Reverend Kathy I worked with. Then this elevated language goes on. That lifts me as someone who's needing some help. And it's just all the same. It's going to the law.
Yes.
Thought, law. And you bypass the effects of
Yes.
the person in your connection and all that. If you just stay there, it'll all work out somehow. Yeah.
But we take our humanness back periodically, though, don't we? Yeah. You know, having someone do a spiritual mind treatment for me personally is a transcendent experience. I'm not kidding. So somebody said to me one day, well, what is, you always say the truth with a capital T. What is that? And I said, well, for me, it's God is all there is. I don't have to, I could go around saying God is all there is. God is all there is. I wouldn't even have to do an entire treatment if I had the consciousness of that idea on a continued basis. And yet we take back ourselves sometimes. We say, well, anybody here ever identify with the idea that, well, I'm not perfect? Wait a minute. I beg to differ. Every single person here is the perfect Bonnie, the perfect Jennifer, the perfect Andrea, the perfect Steve, Kathy, Nancy, Mary Jane, and Renzen back there. Yes. We are that perfect demonstration of God in action. So we are perfect. We have human warts and
We have
human
human
foibles and human emotions that sometimes get in the way of that idea. But you wanted to say something, Kathy.
Yes.
I saw somebody with a microphone.
That last paragraph that I read, the practitioner does not feel that we must create this perfect body. Our business is to reveal it. And I'd like to say, too, that treatment isn't about trying to fix something. It's revealing the answer, whatever it is, that it's already there. Because if you believe, if I believe that there's no time and space in the mind of God, then it's just a matter of revealing. I'll give you an example, just kind of a simplistic one, that sometimes I'll mislay something in my place. And I have a treatment that I do that the presence of God is everywhere, God is all that there is. And then I just let it go. Like Nancy was just talking about, I just let it go. And then I'll see it at a place that I knew, it was like that saying, right under my nose. And it's like, why didn't I see that before? It was already there, but I just had to accept that it's revealed. Well, I feel that applies when we treat about anything. We're just revealing what's already the final result. It's just being revealed. We're not fixing it. Like I'm not, and I find that I'll find things sometimes instead of just tearing up my place to find something.
You might find things that you didn't even know you had.
Oh yeah, I do that sometimes too, and I found money. I found a $20 bill once, so I'm not saying don't do that, but sometimes things you will get revealed without much effort.
Well, the losing things in the apartment is a continual experience every day. And it just happened before I left for class earlier today, and I had these papers for the assignment, and they weren't anywhere. And it was like this large, it just wasn't anywhere. And so I did kind of a little treatment, and I didn't use the word reveal, but that's a beautiful word, reveal, because it's there. You just need to reveal it. And, but I was a little flustered because I had to leave. And, but I knew it didn't leave the apartment. So I did something like that today, and it appeared. It was in the kitchen, for heaven's sakes. But I think practicing that really does work because it saves me a lot of frustration. And I think that one of my worst character defects is impatience. And it's coming up a lot these days, so I guess that's what I need to work on.
So
But I love that part about the reveal. I think
Yes.
what you said, Reverend Kathy, was perfect.
Just as an aside, I had someone ask me to do treatment for patients. And so I was doing treatment on a regular basis for her. I said, I'll do it as long as you tell me to continue doing it or to tell me to stop doing it. She called me and she was whispering into the phone. She said, Maureen, I've stood in 3 lines today. I have enough patients to last a lifetime. Can you stop treating? She was at the post office, so she was calling it really quietly in her cell phone. I thought I would die laughing. It was the funniest thing. I never heard anything like that since being a practitioner. But please stop treating for patients. I've been in 3 lines already this week. Anyway, who else? Any comments? Yes?
I mean, it doesn't really pertain to this. Well, my comment is just me growing spiritually and with attachment. And the old Jennifer would have totally had a major heart attack and have gotten so upset and, been out of shape. I lost a real diamond earring, 3 diamond earrings from Costco. But the puppies knocked it out of my ear in a whole bunch of like wood chips, cedar chips. Oh. So it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. And I just went, the first thing that came to my mind when I realized it wasn't in my ear was attachment. Attachment. It's just an object. And you're going to be okay without it, So I'm okay. I'm not. I haven't told my husband, but I'm okay, and I'm just like okay, And I still have faith that maybe when I go back and start looking around, that maybe it's in there somewhere. I did find the back. Had the back in my mouth. But then I opened up my mouth to say something to one of the puppies, and it fell out again. And I'm like, at this point, it's not even worth it. Okay, never mind. So I am very grateful that I am growing spiritually, and I'm good.
Good.
You have something, sir? No?
Oh, no, I just handed it to her.
One of the things that I'm listening to you, and I've been reading a lot about treatment recently. And one of the things I recognize is that this is about recognizing the truth that we teach in this teaching about our mind. We are the creators of our experience. And we are constantly, according to our belief and understanding, bringing forth that which we believed, or bringing forth that which we have allowed race thought to imprint on us. It's one or the other. So we move my consciousness towards knowing the truth that I am the author of my experience, and that as I define how I want to experience life and believe that I am creating it, then I can shift things. So as a practitioner, I can shift according to where I tell the consciousness that I define. and described, and that I do have the ability to shift anything into a different direction. So it takes away the fear of any of the things, like if it's lost or anything. If I take my mind in a different direction and know that I'm going to find it, tell myself I'm going to find it, then it allows that to show up in my experience. I mean, because I've used to find my keys. I'd be looking all over the house and it'd just be a piece of paper lying over the keys. But I began to understand that, that being the author of my experience, and the more I own it, the more I seem to be able to shift things, and the quicker that I'm able to shift things, to understand that. And that's what's happening. So when we declare something, we have the ability to bring it into expression. So we're not fixing what was, we are creating new in expression. And we can do that at any time, at any place.
I'd
So,
like to
Growing up, one of my teachers, or growing up, going through Science of Mind for the first time, one of my teachers said, "You're the director, you're the producer, you're the actor, and the writer of your own script." And she said, "You can change any one of those things, but the one you have the most control over is the script that you're currently acting in can be the one that can be changed, is the one that can be changed." And I thought, well, isn't that a novel idea? I do not have to be the person I was yesterday and the person I'm becoming. If I live in the moment, then, everything's just fine and dandy. Everything is just okay. And being the author of, as Nancy said, of our own experience, that takes away any possibility of blaming somebody else for where we are today. We are cause to our own effect. We are cause. Director, producer, actor, writer, and we're telling our own story on a daily basis. Take it.
I wanted to respond. I had an experience that was really beautiful, indelible lesson for myself. I walk from my house to Mel's for breakfast on Mondays and Thursdays, and sometimes it's boring. And once on my way back, I just got an inspiration. What if I was Jesus? I am that Christ consciousness, my own manifestation of it. And just walking back all the way, seeing the other people walking on the street and thinking in my mind to bless them and to greet them like loved ones, and the dogs and things, and the people that were on their cell phones and wouldn't give me eye contact, and to give them love and consciousness that we are one. It was just so wonderful and fun, and it's a 2.25 miles and 1,100 feet on the way the way home,
Down.
and I just was elated, and I was so happy and warm and full. It was all just inside me. I don't think anybody else really knew that, but it was wonderful.
That was really lovely. Thank you.
Yeah.
I can sense that feeling that way. I might try that. It's pretty cool. The problem that I have, like trying to find those lessons, is my emotions. They get in the way of my thoughts. So I'm doing like a little treatment of it's all okay, it's there kind of thing. I can calm my mind, but it's my emotions. I can feel it in my stomach, and nervous and fear that I'm not going to have these for that class, and I have to go. So I get so wound up emotionally. How can that be treated? How can I help myself? I'm just
I'm,
lost. I mean, it
I'm
takes over.
identifying with.
It takes over everything. It's just,
You
I'm
know
trying to
something?
be clear, and it takes over.
You know, something I've tried recently, I don't know if, and I think Maureen was talking about being on the phone, is the breathing exercise. So this guy said to bring yourself back to center, and he said, breathe in and count to 4. Pause for 4, and then breathe out
to 4.
to 4. And you just keep doing that. And I think also you guys recommends that too, Shenzhen. And it does work, you know. I mean, it takes your mind off of the energy, because you're so busy focusing on your breath that you forget about the problem itself. And if you do it for a few minutes, it does shift you a little bit.
Thank you. I really need to hear that. I need to breathe more. That does calm me down when I do that.
Breath is a tremendous gift,
Yes.
and every breath we breathe is a breath of God, right? I mean, because if God is all there is, God is in the air. You know, I just want to clarify, just in case, does everybody know what race thought is, when you mentioned race thought? No. It's not about the color of our skin, it's about the human race, in religious science terms. I was kind of thinking that maybe not everybody knew what that was, and I just wanted to clarify that.
We had one Wednesday night where the people that were here kind of got into the idea of race as ethnicity. And Nancy brought it around to the human race
Right.
consciousness rather than race
Right.
race consciousness as an ethnic.
Right, and it's confusing. I remember being confused
Yeah,
when I first
of
heard it.
course.
So that's why I wanted to
Good. Thank you for pointing
clarify
that out.
that. So,
It's a wonderful thing. You know, as you were talking, it reminded me of a story. I was watching. Richard Gere was being interviewed. He's a Buddhist, and he wasn't always a Buddhist, but in his adulthood he became. That was what worked for him in his spirituality. And one of the monks was talking about him, that when he became a Buddhist, he put on the mantle of a Buddhist, and his whole life changed dramatically. And he had this practice where he would walk down the street and he would make eye contact with people that he met along the street. It's more difficult today with phones because everybody's looking down, like you said, right? But he said he would make eye contact with as many people as he could. And in his mind, he would say, I wish you happiness. I wish you happiness. And the people didn't know what he was thinking, but because he made eye contact and smiled at them, they smiled back at him. And so all I could see was him walking down a long, like Hollywood Boulevard, for instance, and smiling at everybody he saw. And, you know, maybe on Hollywood Boulevard, people would think, well, there's a crazy person walking, smiling at everybody. What's going on with them? But he dressed up one day as a bum and did the same thing walking down the street. And even people without phones would not make eye contact with him. He said it was an experiment that he did, but he was still wishing them happiness, making eye contact, smiling at them, but he was obviously disguised because nobody figured out it was Richard Gere. And it was sort of an experiment that he did. But I charge everybody here to try it once. You know, if you're in the supermarket and you run somebody and I'm sure you do.
I do
I'm
too.
sure Nancy does too. And it's such an easy thing. And it's an interesting thing that you might meet somebody you already know. You know, because we don't recognize people necessarily, we recognize their energy. And you would be surprised at how many people you could end up having a conversation with that never expected to have a conversation with them. But
I've met some very nice people and by just, walking and smiling, and then they smile back and I'm like, hi.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, it's such a beautiful day, or they'll just strike up a conversation.
She's,
Yeah, are we out of time?
no, not
Oh,
quite.
okay. Yeah, I've met some really nice people by smiling at them
Yeah.
and getting a smile back. And, you know, somebody will respond and say, oh, it's such a lovely day. And then we'll just start talking. And I've met so many nice people. But I always walk around with a smile on my face. And I just love it when people smile back at me.
Yeah.
And because somebody could be like, you know,
I-
just not, you know, straight faced, and I'll make eye contact and smile, and they'll smile back, and I love the way it makes me feel
Yeah.
when they smile back, or I'll just say hi,
Yeah.
you know, and have a good day, or you know, something, or good morning,
It's
whatever
lovely,
time it is.
lovely.
And
So
I
for
just,
your
you know-
2 miles and 1,100 feet, you could smile at a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, really, really. All right.
Can I say, how are you doing with this? Is there anything you want to say? Has anything been triggered with you?
No, I'm just taking it all
Yeah,
in. It's all
that's
new to
good,
me.
that's good.
Yeah.
Bonnie, you haven't said anything yet.
Can I throw a question out there for you to think about?
What?
Can I throw a question out for people?
Oh, sure.
Um,
Oh. Yeah.
how much faith that you have that you can say affirm a truth and it happened? And you know what? I don't mean for you to just try to answer it. Just to think about it. Do you have the faith? Do you have the belief to do that? That you could say, make an affirmation or declare a truth, and it happened. Realizing that everybody has equal power to do that. If you can put yourself in that position. Let's think about that in terms of where your belief is.
Oh, I have a question. In one of the classes, I can't remember if it was learning treatment. Didn't you say that Ernest Holmes used to do silent treatments in his head? Mm-hmm. And they still were manifested imperfect. So we can do it silently, because sometimes I'll be laying in bed and I'll like, you know, I feel uncomfortable saying a treatment out loud with my husband laying next to me because he doesn't understand, and he'll make fun of me. So I'll just do it in my head, and and so I'll just lay in bed and do it in my head. But I think it's my faith that makes everything perfect. And manifest what I want to experience, because it already is an experience, and you know.
So
Oh, okay.
So we all have the capacity to create affirmations. You know, some affirmations are better than other affirmations, but there is no bad affirmation. The thing I know about doing spiritual mind treatment, it's just an extension of an affirmation. You know, we yes, it is formulaic in nature because it has 5 steps. And 5 steps are, as Craig Carter would say, Reverend Dr. Craig Carter would say, they are a guideline. My friend Charles Geddes, Reverend Dr. Charles Geddes, starts with the gratitude statement. You know, when he began a spiritual mind treatment, always started with gratitude. No, not necessarily silent.
Well, no, I'm saying that I do mine silently.
Yes, you
Okay.
can do it silently, but Emma Curtis Hopkins would tell you, your word has power. And when you can when you can do a spiritual mind treatment that is a declaration of truth so powerful that it makes the hair on your own arms stand on end, then you know that you have hit that place in us, that universal subconscious mind, that it's a done deal. There are times when a treatment maybe on the surface appear to be just an average, ordinary treatment, but the person's receptivity to that treatment is all-encompassing. And the change is affected immediately for that person. So you never know how your spiritual mind treatment or your affirmative prayer is going to be received. But if I believe in what I'm saying, and I believe in the efficacy of spiritual mind treatment to the extent that my life has changed dramatically because of it, then that carries over into the receptivity to the one you're treating for. So doing silent treatment is fine, is very fine. Any way you do it, how bad can it be, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's your own consciousness you're trying to work on, or trying to work on somebody else's consciousness, that's a futile effort because they have to do their own work on their own consciousness. So we can provide a guideline through spiritual mind treatment, but it's like, what was Nancy saying? We can't fix or change anybody.
Yeah.
We can only offer a pathway for them to do that for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes.
Okay.
Your responsibility is not to the outcome for the other person. Your responsibility is to make a shift in consciousness so that, or help them have a shift in consciousness so they can make whatever change or fix whatever needs to be fixed for themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
But even a smile is an affirmation.
Oh, absolutely.
And a treatment.
Yes.
I remember Herman's treatments.
God car.
So the one thing we have to remember, the only capital T truth is what? God is all there is. That's all the truth that we need to know. Yes.
Existence is God itself.
So Reverend Nancy is going to treat us out.
Yeah, I was gonna
Thank
say
you all
time
for
is
being
up.
here. There's a little basket over there if you feel so inclined to
Thank y'all
put
for
something in
coming.
it. It's also Giving Tuesday started yesterday. We have, 8 more days to Giving Tuesday. It's on Facebook. You can donate on Facebook. Have you all logged in as friends of CSL Granada Hills on Facebook, if you're on Facebook? If you aren't, you can,
I haven't been able to find it.
CSLGH on Facebook. CSLGH. So you can say afterwards. I'll do it for you. But
do
let's say a
CSL
good night.
Granada Hills on Facebook. CSL,
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
yeah,
Because I kept getting some awards thing.
yeah, no.
No, that's it.
There's, it's already on there.
Oh, okay, Giving Tuesday. Okay.
Okay, so with the awareness that spirit is all that there is, that's infinite intelligence that we are discussing, thinking about, and ruminating over, is the infinite intelligence of the universe that brings forth life itself in every way and every form. To know that that infinite power is in, through, and as each one of us is knowing the truth of our being. And as we recognize, embrace, and embody this, we allow it to be the feeling that goes through us, the feeling that comes from us. We allow it to be the word that we speak into the law of the universe and manifest as our experience of life. So as we embrace the idea that we're open and receptive to understand, appreciate, and embrace the concept of spiritual mind treatment, we allow ourselves to utilize it for our greater good with ease and grace. So as we go forth from this experience, we go forth with the idea that we are able to know the truth, to live it and be it, moment by moment. And we take with us out of this experience an expanded understanding of that truth as the cornerstone of our life. And with this awareness and this understanding, we are very grateful. We appreciate this truth as it flows into manifestation in us, through us, and as us, as we acknowledge it together by saying,
And so it is. Thank you all for being here tonight.
Thank you
That was
all.
a nice surprise. You could be home watching mindless television.
You finished?